It was 5 a.m. in the morning. The dew was still fresh on the grass. The city was slowly coming to life. Nirmala was getting ready to catch a flight. She was going to another city to sign a new business deal. Nirmala was so happy. Little did she know the disaster that was just waiting to happen. As Nirmala's car sped along the bypass towards the airport, she switched on Kirtan music to uplift her mood. Alas, Nirmala did not notice that her driver was becoming drowsy at the wheel. Suddenly, the driver's head fell bang onto the wheel. As the driver lost control, the car, which was traveling at high speed, vaulted several times in the air and crashed into a field. There was a massive sound of the car crashing. "Oh God, is this the end for me?" Nirmala thought, as she was violently flung from her seat in the vaulting car. A passerby rushed to help them. He did not expect to find them alive after such a massive crash. As the man pulled out a dazed Nirmala from the car, he found she was still alive. What a miracle! Not only was she alive, Nirmala was not even injured. She just had a few minor bruises on her wrists. This was simply unbelievable for the man. Then the man rushed to help the driver. He saw that the driver was also alive, and he too had just a few minor injuries. Nirmala offered grateful thanks to the kind passerby. He told her he could still not believe how she had survived such a bad crash. The man told her that just 2 days ago a friend of his had crashed his car on the same bypass, and he was in hospital with multiple fractures and a concussion. Nirmala became very pensive after hearing the man. She believed in the law of karma, which says that every action of ours will bring forth an equal reaction from the universe. No one can escape the fruit of their actions, good or bad. Nirmala felt it was time to take a good hard look at some of her recent actions, now that she had survived this accident. So she turned to her two favorite sources for inspiration, Lord Krishna and Paramahansa Yogananda. Paramahansa Yogananda wrote a brilliant commentary on the Bhagavad Gita, the Song of the Lord, for the modern man, and he called it God Talks to Arjuna. Nirmala recalled the great battle of Mahabharata, where the Bhagavad Gita was born. Life is also a battlefield. Every day, we have to engage in some battle or the other. We have to take decisions. We struggle with so many things. We have so many choices to be made. Before the Great War, both the opposing parties went to meet Krishna to seek his help. Krishna was sleeping. Arjuna quietly went and sat at Krishna's feet. That action symbolized loving surrender to the divine. The proud King Duryodhana went and sat by Krishna's head. That act symbolized the ego of the worldly person who strongly identifies with his power and position and is full of himself. Krishna offered himself or his army as a help for the big battle. Arjuna chose Krishna or divine support. The egotistical Duryodhana chose material support or Krishna's army. The rest is history. Arjuna was saved in the bloody war of 18 days and Duryodhana was destroyed. Recalling this famous story from the Mahabharata, Nirmala was in no doubt that it was her long spiritual training under Paramahansa Yogananda that had saved her from possible death or absolute disaster during her car crash. Nirmala also thought of the tragic hero Karna. Karna had all the qualities of a winner. He was brilliant, a highly accomplished warrior, a king. He was generous to a fault. We all cry when Karna is killed in the end because we believe he should have won. Karna had a big problem which caused his downfall and destruction. He wanted social status, money, and public recognition at any cost. For this, he sided with the evil Duryodhana and supported his plots to kill the Pandavas and take away their kingdom. Blinded by false desire, Karna even sided with Duryodhana when he assaulted the queen Draupadi and tried to disrobe her in the open court. What kind of man does that? Blinded by his desire to be an important man in society, Karna sacrificed his buddhi, intelligence, and discrimination at the altar of greed and committed several evil deeds as the sidekick of a corrupt king Duryodhana. Intelligence is double-edged. It can save us or destroy us. Karna also had an inferiority complex. He thought he was the best, so why should he not be a bigger king? Why should he not be as famous as Arjuna? Why should he not have a wife like Draupadi? These comparisons with others made him a bitter man, and he became friends with an evil man Duryodhana to achieve his goals. In the end, he died a tragic death. Nirmala thought over her life of the past few years. She was doing everything the world expected from a successful person, getting a bigger car, a bigger house, annual exotic holidays, the latest expensive gadgets, binge-watching movies, socializing with people who mattered. And in this quest to impress others in society how successful she was, somewhere she had lost touch with her soul. She had become attached to the results of her actions. She had become greedy for more. And by not doing her spiritual practices regularly, she was allowing the energy of negative people to influence her decisions. So the car crash was a reminder to Nirmala not to be like the tragic hero Karna. Nirmala felt that because of her previous faithful spiritual practice, life had offered her a second chance to shun Maya or illusion and follow the path of Dharma or righteousness. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna has beautifully explained the 4 cornerstones of Dharma, righteousness. The first is karma, doing one's duty with love and passion, without any expectations for the results, or for fame, or for social recognition. The second is Kriya Yoga or spiritual practice. Every day the vital energy in our body is getting depleted. Through spiritual practice, we draw in more cosmic energy into our bodies. Our intuition develops and guides us to take the right decisions. The third cornerstone of Dharma is Jnana or wisdom. Through spiritual practice, our buddhi or intelligence evolves. We learn to discriminate between good and bad. We are not unduly influenced by the opinions of the world, which is often misleading. The fourth pillar of Dharma is Bhakti or devotion. This means to have pure love for God or the cosmic energy, and to give that love back to others in loving service and loving care. Arjuna went through many difficulties in his life. Despite being a king, he had to live in exile for several years. But even in exile, he acted dutifully and continued his spiritual practice. Unlike Karna, he was guided by his soul, Krishna, and not by his ego, Duryodhana. Therefore, he attracted grace. He attracted the friendship of Krishna, who rescued him, helped him win a major war, and even became his charioteer. Krishna gave the world the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita through his friend Arjuna. That is why Arjuna became the winning hero despite his trials, and Karna became the tragic hero despite his brilliance. So on this sacred day of Krishna Janmashtami, the birthday of the eternal friend Krishna, Team C-Quel takes a fresh pledge to uphold Dharma through right action, to work tirelessly and with love for the welfare of all. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, please continue to be our divine charioteer.